Hey everyone, Tony here from the Home Brew Crew. I just wanted to send a heartfelt thanks to every single one of you who has liked and subscribed our channel over the past couple of days. First, Nerdarchy mentioned us in a post, then Mr. Matt Colville mentioned us in a post, and next thing we know, we've got followers, strangely enough, showing up from Matt's Legion and Nerdarchy's Legion, and everyone's here to support the channel, and we just want to let you guys know how awesome that was for us to experience. You totally made our holiday. It was pretty cool checking our phones every couple minutes and seeing that subscriber count go up, seeing those views go up. It kind of like vindicated us for actually having a channel out there. With that being said, we do know there's a lot of videos that need to get done. We did record some videos before the holiday, which is one of the videos you're going to see, but I didn't want to post that up there without at least saying thank you to every single one of you guys who subscribed. So from Sean and myself and from everyone here working on the Home Brew Crew, thank you so much. Cheers and keep brewing.
A scroll, a potion, a ring, a book, and a rod. What do those things have in common? Absolutely nothing, but these are 5 useful homebrew items that you can find on DnDBeyond, and these will be good in your campaign.
Welcome to the Home Brew Crew. I'm Tony, this is Sean, and today we're going to be going over 5 really cool items that we found on DnDBeyond's Homebrew created items section.
Yeah, and if the title and the introduction wasn't already enough, these are going to be very, very random. These are not anything in regards of how popular they are or how they're rated. We kind of combed through and found 5 ones that don't really have a lot of attention, but they should.
Absolutely. Some of these with Beyond, they get like buried underneath all these different things that are on there, and it's really hard to sift through and find stuff that's really cool and exciting. And I think thematically, all of the things we're talking about today not only have a great mechanic to them, but they're also fun to throw into the campaign. It's not just like this monstrous sword that does everything.
Yeah. That was kind of the focus of what we were looking around for. And the great thing is, like, my rule of thumb whenever I'm looking at homebrew stuff is, like, I think about the item and I think about what it does. And if it doesn't piss me off, if I imagine it being used in my campaign, it's got my seal of approval. And all of these are great. Nothing's overpowered. They're useful, but they're also kind of weird and quirky. So that's why we picked these 5 that we have today.
Well, let's start with our first one then.
Yeah.
Let's just get right into it.
Yeah, aptly named food stamp.
I'm not crazy about the name.
Yes, because it's not completely accurate, but, you know, it kind of does what a food stamp does in real life. It's basically a magical scroll, kind of one you would find like as a fireball or whatever. One-time use, and when you use the scroll, you get a meal.
And who made this one? It's
that is by, I'm so sorry if I messed this up.
Mr.
Da. Yeah, Mr. Da.
Da?
I think so.
Okay. No, it's really cool. You made mention of this before when we were going through it, and it's kind of neat. So it just basically summons a meal, but if the scroll is damaged or something's off, you might get rotten food, bad tasting food, or not even food at all.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on the condition of the scroll, I can already imagine if you drop it in water, you end up with like soggy bread or something.
Yeah,
you know?
just you had bread, now you got oatmeal.
Yeah, exactly.
But what you mentioned before about it, and I thought was very clever to note, is that this scroll doesn't really weigh that much.
Exactly.
So you're not packing yourself with all this food.
You're saving, inventory space and weight with the piece of paper, which is pretty cool. And I would totally make this like a uncommon, maybe even common item as a little reward to my players if you have travel in your campaign. That way, if they find these scrolls, they're like, oh, great, now we don't have to buy food, So it's actually a nice little reward you can toss.
Yeah, they're just going to spend their entire time making sure that piece of paper does not get creased.
Now they're going to start buying folders.
I do not want my steak overdone because you sat on our scroll.
Exactly.
So, but that brings us into, we went food, now we go into drink, sort of.
Yeah.
And that's with potions. That's the Alebender's Dwarven Draught of Thunder.
And this one's really cool. And you found this one.
Yep.
This is from user Wand of Dorcas. And there's a bit of a description as to, what kind of lore you can use to describe the potion. But basically, think of it more like a magical drink, really.
Yeah. It's a good concoction. I mean, you down this thing, and you're basically holding in a very large belch the entire time. But the mechanics of it are pretty neat too. So you get this, was it 1d8 or something like that?
Yeah. You get this very long range thunder damage spell, and you can attack as many creatures as you can within there. They have to make a con save. And then the cool thing is, if you don't want to release your initial burp, you can hold it by making a con save. And then, as long as you don't open your mouth or anything like that, you can release an even more devastating belch.
Yeah, it goes even further. It's 500 feet, and it becomes a 2d6 instead of a 1d8.
Right, and then whoever is affected can fall prone. But it's funny because if you mess this up, you can hurt yourself with your own gas.
Yeah, that's true, because you could take the 1d6, the thunder damage yourself, too.
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah, exactly.
But it's a great little thing. I would actually put these in a bar themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
As a local drink that they serve. Everybody has this or what have you. And I would have them affect the people around them in the bar if they weren't able to keep it in.
Yeah, I have a lot of taverns in my campaign, and I always have to make up drinks.
Do.
And I know
absolutely, that's just and 5-6 taverns I've been part of. I don't even remember their names.
I gotta make up drinks every other week. This is a good one. Yeah. But if you have if your players run into a tavern or something like that, this is an awesome drink to toss in. It's comedic or useful.
Speaking of useful. Now that brings us to our next one, the Ring of Kinetic Storing, and this is by Axonald.
Axonald.
It's so tiny, the print right there,
I know.
I can't read it. Why don't you go over this one? This is one that I found, but I think is
cool. This is a pretty cool one. So basically, it's a silver ring, and it has up to the 5 charges, and you increase. You get a charge back for every 2 days as the ring is worn. And basically what happens is, as an action, you can make a punch, an arm strike, and you deal however many charges you have. So for each charge that you unleash, you deal an extra 1d6.
Right. So now the good thing about this is that it has has a little bit of a disadvantage thing to it. Not disadvantage, but you know what I mean. Is that, number one, it takes 10 days to get a full charge on this ring. In order to get the 5 charges on there.
Yeah.
In order to do your, 5d6 bludgeoning damage extra, right? The other thing is that you have to make an unarmed strike with it. It's not, I'm going to automatically do this extra damage every time. An unarmed strike is 1.
Yeah.
Unless you're actually trained in unarmed strikes, it's 1 damage.
Exactly.
So you're not really adding a hell of a lot to it that way. And for the amount of time it takes you to get that back, I just like the theme of this is that it's a ring that you're wearing that stores up kinetic energy as you're walking.
You're just jogging through the forest, you're getting all this energy.
It's a DnDBeyond Fitbit is what it is. And I really like that. It stores up this kinetic energy, and then you're able to actually use that. I could see this being used with a monk. Would be kind of cool.
Oh,
It
yeah.
would be devastating with a monk.
It'd be killer.
Because he's got that unarmed strike, and it's a little bit stronger anyway.
Yeah. I like
Tabaxi could use this with the claws.
Oh, with the claws? Oh my god, yeah. I like this just because it's kind of like a low-key, discreet item. No one's going to assume that this ring does anything, and you can kind of pull this out of nowhere and just boom, and push the guy back if you use all 5 charges. So I think that's kind of what attracted me to this item. It's just it's simple, but it's so balanced.
Yeah, and you can hide that ring in so many different places.
Exactly.
They're going to take your weapons. They may not take your jewelry.
Right, exactly. So you can basically smuggle something in. So it's a cool little thing that they have.
Smuggling and sneaking. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and it actually leads into the next item, the Dugger's Tome. This one's from Z_Bashu, and basically it's a leather book, and it's a one-time use book. So once you use the Dugger's Tome, you can't use it again. But basically all you do is that you take the book, you put it on top of another book, and it makes an exact copy of the book. Now, before you get afraid of any copyright or anything, it's a cool item because not only are you taking that original book, anytime there are adjustments made to the original one, you get that in your own Dugger's Tome.
Yeah, and it's a rare wondrous item, the way he put this one together, he or she put this together. And what I like about it is that you can have this, imagine carrying this book with you, this tome with you, for your entire journey, saving it for something very important. Mm-hmm. And now it's an item that is rare. It's not going to be you could buy it in any other shop, these Dugger's tomes or whatever. But to be able to have the insight into your enemy's advances and what they're going to be doing, put it on the bad guy's diary.
Right. This is like better than scrying.
Yeah.
You don't have to use a spell. You don't have to have like know his location. Like you'll always know what he's writing.
I wonder if it goes like with Tom Riddle's journal. Like you're reading it and all of a sudden it writes it or something.
Right,
like,
exactly. I don't know. Like you can definitely flavor it as a DM. One thing that just came to mind is it says it works in any book. What if you just put this in a wizard spell book?
Yeah.
Which is probably where that rare thing comes from. Like, if a wizard is putting their spells in this book, technically speaking, you also have that book.
Isn't it great for a yeah, see that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
If you have, your evil wizard or something up there, all of his tricks.
Exactly. Now you have access to all the spells that he knows.
Let's see. When his eyes start glowing, we know that he's gonna counterspell.
Exactly.
That kind of
right.
thing.
Okay. Oh, this means that. Yeah. So,
but it also works well for a backup spell book for a wizard that loses
That's
one.
so true. Oh, I got my spare that I've always had the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like having like your personal iCloud.
Imagine being a wizard without a lot of spells. Like I know that in this one campaign that I know, spells are not very common for wizards to get.
A little bit.
So if they come across somebody else's book somewhere, it'd be really nice for them to just plop this one on top and steal everything, right?
It would.
Don't have to worry about that 50 gold per spell thing or whatever.
Yeah, free spells. So, but a really cool item. I think this one's great. So the last one we're going to go into, and we like to end on things that give us a little bit of a chuckle, admittedly. So
most of these things give us a little bit of a chuckle. This one in particular,
yeah, especially this one. This one is from Nader Salad. This one is called the Peasants Ride, and it's very self-explanatory. I love the description. This rod is a gnarled oaken staff. You can use an action to present the rod and command obedience from each goat, pig, cow, or sheep that you can see within 100 feet of you, and that's very specific. And
they don't just automatically do it; they have to make a wisdom save, right?
Yeah. And those cows are very wise, but if they fail,
smart ass cows.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. If they fail, they become charmed by the user for 8 hours.
My personal favorite is this little part here.
Oh.
While charmed, the beast regards you as its trusted leader and would die for you.
Would die for you. That's the. No pun intended. That part kills me. Like knowing that you can have this legion of goats and pigs just charging into battle for you is awesome.
I see cows and catapults. I see
yeah, exactly.
A lot of stuff, and I think it's funny, but it's also really creative.
Yeah,
and a lot of fun with it. I like when people theme these things.
Yeah,
I mean?
and it kind of reminds me, like, let's say you have a background and like, I have the ability to gain friends in the alleyways of cities. This is kind of like that. You could have the ability to befriend these animals, and you're probably only going to find it in like villages and towns. But like, if you now have this opportunity, like, oh, where's the closest pig? Like, like now it's
here's
really watch
the
out
other
for.
thing: goats, pigs, cows, and sheep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they would die for you.
They
though.
would die for me if I'm hungry.
In the name of my stomach,
Betty Lou the cow is she's gonna be dinner. Sorry,
but at least though, like they'll die knowing that it was for a greater cause.
Yes,
that's always good, I guess.
Boy, you're delicious. It's fine. This is how I wanted to live. Like I don't,
Yeah. So. Again, fantastic item. I think it has a nice mix of just this awesome flavor, but very legitimately useful and not overpowered.
Yeah, nothing that we've gone over tonight has been overpowered. Every single one of them has its own special ability, but also is restrained, which I think is one of the most important things when making a homebrew something, whether it be a race, a class, anything like that.
Right, absolutely. The thing that I like about these items is that they kind of reflect what we look for in homebrew items and stuff like that. A mix of utility, balancing, and once everything kind of comes together, these are things that you can easily toss in your campaign and not have a problem with it.
Just be very careful of those weapons and armor sections on DnDBeyond.
Yeah,
those things are loaded with.
We're gonna have a field day on that section one of these days, and
we'll get to it.
Yeah,
we'll get to
one
it.
of these days is when we find something.
But until that day comes, please feel free to send us any of your weapons, items, equipment, characters, creations,
anything homebrew
that's homebrew, and we'd be happy to look through it for you. We'd be happy to help you balance it. We ourselves are going to be doing our next come January, we should be setting up our web stream very soon.
Exactly. Hopefully by then we'll be able to stream some of my homebrew campaign, and you can kind of see what we love to do. And we are excited and hope to see you guys at the stream.
Yep. Please like, subscribe. It's over. It's over
there somewhere, I think.
It's down there.
Could move a couple years. Who knows?
It's down there.
Okay.
It's always
down
gonna
there.
It's gonna be down there in the corner.
That's a good decision.
Just click the little icon there. You can like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Twitter. You can also go to our new webpage that we just put up at dnbrewcrew.com.
Yep.
Check us out there. It'll have all these videos up there.
Yeah, let's say we'll have links for those as well as the items down below. That way you can actually go ahead and access them yourself.
Yep. So, remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are home brewed, right, Sean?
All the time.
Right. So until next time,
Keep brewing.